Hey YouTube, it's me again, KaBlamBandicoot64 here, back again to do another commentary. Well, I did say that I was going to do this one. Mr. Enter's Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi review. Now, in case you don't know, I love Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. I think it's a great show. But unfortunately, Mr. Enter doesn't feel the same way. Now, again, I respect his opinion on the show. And you know, I was originally kind of excited to watch his review. I'm like, maybe I can get a different perspective on this show. Maybe realize some of the negatives. But of course, this is Mr. Enter we're talking about, so we get biased nonsense instead. Looking at the video again, I guess it wasn't that horrible, but he still shows his ass just like he does in every other of his reviews. Gosh. Why can't this guy just get a life and actually just take cartoons without the utmost seriousness? And then there's the ending of this review. Oh boy. We're gonna have ourselves some fun talking about that. Like I said, looking back, I guess this review wasn't that horrible, especially not as how I first viewed it, but, like I said, there were still some problems. Let's go over them.
Well, this one has been a long time coming. Today, we're tackling Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. I've said before that there are some shows that are so bad that I pretty much drop everything I'm doing just to review it to get it over with as fast as possible.
I'm sorry, but do you just have no social life? I mean, having to drop everything and stop doing everything you're doing with your life just to review a bad cartoon? Wait, did I just say that Enter had a life?
That was kind of what last week was about. Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi is kind of the opposite of that. It's bad, but it's on the very low end of bad.
And by this, he means that, okay, it's not really that bad, but I have a personal bias and I take cartoons too literally, so I'm just gonna watch it and nitpick the hell out of it. Just like I do for every other cartoon that's not really that bad that you for some reason consider an atrocity. Wait a minute. Doesn't an atrocity mean that it's horribly bad? Like it's horrendous? Like it's one of the worst cartoons ever? Like atrocity. This isn't just a bad cartoon, it's an atrocity. And here you are saying that this cartoon really isn't that bad. Kind of defeats the purpose of your name, doesn't it?
So, I've been sitting on this one for quite some time. Look, after King Star King and some crazy copyright problems, I just need to do something more simple. And it doesn't get any simpler than Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi.
Wait a minute. When is a cartoon being simple a bad thing? The Powerpuff Girls, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Wander Over Yonder, SpongeBob SquarePants. There are a lot of great cartoons that, we'd consider simple. I mean, compared to shows like Avatar The Last Airbender or Teen Titans, shows that I personally didn't care for, but anyways, compared to those shows, they really don't have much in terms of depth and storyline and deepness. But come on, that doesn't have to be what an animated series is about, and here you are saying that it's bad for a cartoon to be simple. Wait a minute, didn't you once say that Growing Around wasn't supposed to have a super deep story arc? And here you are saying that cartoons are bad for being simple. Yep, we're definitely dealing with Mr. Enter. The hypocriticalness is already showing. How far are we into this review? Like, less than a minute in? Oh god, this is gonna be long.
You know how in The Simpsons or Family Guy, you occasionally see badly made cartoons in the background that you're not really supposed to pay attention to? Well, if they did that for anime, what you'd see back there is Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi. This is a particularly cheaply made show. I mean, for starters, it's one of those celebrity endorsement shows.
So Enter's definition of a celebrity-endorsed show is that, if it stars a celebrity, it's automatically bad. Seriously, he does this with so many shows. Look, I can understand that there are a lot of bad cartoons that have celebrity endorsements, but this just makes you come off as biased, really.
I don't know anything about Puffy Amiyumi themselves, but I will say this. All too often it's people who don't care about watching cartoons, signing over their rights to corporate stooges who don't care about making cartoons. It just ends up being an excuse to indoctrinate younger kids into their brand.
No. Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi was nothing like that. You can clearly tell that the band of Puffy Amiyumi had serious involvement with the show. I mean, in every single episode, there were live-action snippets of the real band. And not just in concerts, the real band doing actual sketches just for this show. Look, This doesn't take a freaking detective. You can watch any episode of this show and you'll see it. So obviously, they had a helping hand in this show. This guy's just looking for complaints now. He's not trying. He's not trying at all. He's just nitpicking the hell out of this show and spewing out his own random bullshit bias. RBB.
The episode I'm going to review today is about a treasure map, because this is the only one I've seen so far that actually seems to have a fucking plot.
Ah yes, typical Mr. Enter. Every cartoon must have a super-de-duper in-depth deep plot. Didn't this guy once say that in Growing Around he doesn't want it to have a super-de-duper in-depth plot or story arc, as I should be saying? Yeah. And now he's complaining about this cartoon not having one. Needless to say also that the good episodes of SpongeBob, or at least what he considers the good episodes, and various other cartoons that he says are good cartoons, such as My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Wander Over Yonder, Powerpuff Girls, a lot of his cartoons that he likes, they don't have the super-de-duper in-depth plots either. Oh, and I can go on. Let's see, I know he likes Animaniacs, he mentioned Class of 3000 in this review. You know, I could go on about how he's a complete hypocrite here, and how he thinks that every cartoon needs to have a super-de-duper in-depth plot, but he obviously does not care. He obviously does not care, and you know what? That's fine by me. He's already proven himself numerous times to be a hypocrite.
Like My Life Me, this show tries to use and parody the conventions of anime. This time, however, it seems like it's only used to keep costs down as low as possible. As Flash took over television animation, so many cartoons at that time were looking this incredibly cheap. I see that they were at least trying for some kind of style, but it doesn't look good. It looks very minimalist, and for a gag-based cartoon like this, that wasn't the wisest option. It looks cheap. There are many frames where only mouths are moving, for instance.
Okay, well, even though I personally do enjoy Hayao animation style, I can see why somebody wouldn't like it. Style in animation is very subjective, you know? I mean, he just might have found the cartoon ugly. But I would like to point out this. I've seen a lot of anime where, you know, the characters and the backgrounds and everything is just one still frame, yet the mouths are the only thing that's moving. I mean, sure, it looks pretty, but it really wouldn't be an excuse for anime either. I don't know why he's counting it as an excuse for here, but, you know, I'm sure that he just simply doesn't like that style, even if it was an anime. Strange, considering that Hayao Miyazaki is an anime-inspired show, but you know, I digress, you know. He probably just wouldn't like that style for cartoons or anime, assuming that anime and cartoons are different. But anyways, you know, I'll give Enter this. He does make a very subjective point here.
Anime can get away with that because the backgrounds look very expensive and very detailed.
Excuse me. Sorry, gotta make a quick call here. Hang on. Okay, got my vintage phone. Okay, we're just gonna make a quick call. Let's see, okay. It's ringing. Hello, yes, I would like to call the Weeaboo police. We have a Weeaboo right here. See, he's clearly saying that cartoons can't get away with frames moving, with the mouths are the only thing that's moving, but anime can simply because the backgrounds look pretty. When he literally just said that cartoons can't get away with this just because potatoes, yet anime can simply because the backgrounds. Yes, I understand style is subjective, sir, but he's clearly being a hypocrite. Oh, you agree with me? Good. Just informing me. Okay. Alright, thank you, officer. Okay, you're a complete hypocrite. Did you know that, Enter? I hope you knew that. Seriously, so anime can get away with this because the backgrounds are pretty, yet cartoons can't because I don't really know why they can't, but anime can. You say that you don't really watch a lot of anime, yet you clearly watch enough to go into some in-depth analysis about the animation. It's petty bullcrap like this, Enter, that you have the reputation in the animation community that you do.
So on to the episode.
By the way, I would like to point out that we are about, let me check the time. Okay. 3 minutes and 30 seconds into this video, and now he actually starts talking about the episode. So, in reality, this is only a 4.5-minute review, and once you take in matters the ending, it's less than that. Again, we will get to the ending when we get to that, but we'll just show, that just goes to show you how little Enter gives a crap about actually making an in-depth review. I mean, I don't like it when he overanalyzes the cartoons and goes in-depth about them, but you need to go more in-depth in your review than, like, less than 4 minutes and 30 seconds. You cannot, in any good conscience, review a good cartoon or a bad cartoon in this amount of time. You can't. It doesn't matter that High Hype of Yami's episodes are usually 7 minutes long. You can't. So really, what I'm going to predict is we get a lot of hypocritical bias, can't forget about hypocritical bias, and, hypocritical bias. Typical flair for Enter reviews. Oh, boy. And by the way, the very fact that you now acknowledge that you're going to move on to the episode clearly shows you don't give a shit about managing your time.
Through road rage, Kaz is hit with a piece of paper. At first, Kaz thinks it's a treasure map.
Treasure map?
Treasure map? Kaz, are your glasses on upside down?
Well, maybe.
This is the kind of humor you can expect from the show, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they're even on backwards, not upside down.
Really? The glasses aren't on in the way that they describe that? That's what you're complaining about? That? Oh, right, I forgot to mention, when I was pointing out his biased hypocrisy earlier, it can't be an interview without nitpicking, now can it?
Let's take a look at that treasure map. So, it looks like a bunch of islands. And this episode looks like it takes place in the Nevada desert. Nothing about this makes any sort of sense. Yumi thinks she'll find a monkey statue and fight off mummies. I thought this was pirate treasure.
Yes, because by and large, the most important thing about this episode, the key thing, is the directions and the placement of the geography on the map. Again, man, the nitpicking in this thing is huge. That must be like a big old nit on like a blanket or something, because you are sure picking the hell out of it.
Diamond earrings! Ruby slippers! Silver tiaras! A 14-karat prom dress!
We don't measure dresses in carats. Carats are for gold and gems, not clothing which is usually made out of fabrics. And Kaz thinks he's going to lay a golden egg. What the hell does this have to do with a pirate treasure map?
Does anybody give a shit? Does anybody actually care that they messed up the way that they described the clothing? Anyone? Does that add anything to the episode? Subtract anything? Stop it with the nitpicking! This is Enter. He nitpicks every single little thing, doesn't he? Yep. God. Look, your Annoying Orange review was bad. Your Rocket Monkeys review was bad. But this is the crowning achievement for the nitpicking. The Rocket Monkeys was your crowning achievement for hypocrisy. But this is your nitpicking. This is a disaster. This is your nitpicking disaster. That's what it is. This whole review has been your hypocrisy and nitpicking. You've barely talked about any points against the episode. Just hypocrisy, bias, and nitpicking. I understand that my Annoying Orange commentary wasn't the best, okay? But this video, none of any YouTube commentators or any Enter fanboys can deny this. He's nitpicking the crap out of this cartoon.
At night, each of them tries to steal the map because, of course, they do.
Yes, because it's not like the map is tearing apart their friendship. It's not like the map represents greed. Seriously, Enter, greed can cause people to do bad things. They're turning against each other because they're greedy over that treasure map. They're looking for what's at the red X. Did you miss the entire point of the episode?
Where they end up ripping it apart. As you can see, this here is a brilliant symbol for their friendship, as Ami, the nice one, steals the treasure map, and leaves the other two in the dust. And yes, they even say a line where it implies that they're fully aware that this is outside of Ami's character.
I'm not sharing squat. What? Can't a girl be sweet and greedy?
to steal a map from under her friend's nose and being completely selfish and inconsiderate about treasure. It's slightly believable for Yumi, but the only one who would usually be doing this kind of stuff is Kaz. I have seen way too many episodes of this show.
First of all, yes, Ami. Yes. That line perfectly represents a lot of women. Okay? Yes, they can be sweet on the outside, salty and crackly on the inside. But anyways, that was my phone. But anyways, really, Enter? Like, really? It's obvious that the greed is making them do stupid things that they would not normally do. They're acting out of character because the treasure map is causing them to do stupid things. How could you not get this? This is sad, honestly. Well, I'm honestly enjoying it, so I guess it's not sad. But seriously, how could you not get this?
So we have a montage. This apparently leads them all over the world. The treasure map looks nothing like the world, by the way.
Because every cartoon has to be geographically realistic. You know, if I had to guess which class Enter did well in, I'd probably say geography. He sure is nitpicking the hell out of this episode for not being geographically accurate. It's a cartoon! It doesn't have to be! It's a cartoon! It's a cartoon! Why would it have to be geographically accurate? This show deals with aliens. Of course it's not supposed to be realistic. Of course this doesn't take place in our version of Earth. It's a cartoon. It's a warped version of Earth. No, it's not supposed to be geographically realistic. Why would you care?
The montage is boring and they end up exactly where they started. Then some crazy old fancy guy says that it isn't a treasure map, it's modern art. So the lesson here is that modern art is terrible, and the only thing it's good for is tearing apart friendships.
No, the lesson was that if you become greedy, you become an asshole, which isn't good. That's basically the gist of it. And you know, for someone who jerks off to cartoons with morals as much as you do, it's kind of pathetic that you didn't really get this. So that's pretty much all I have to say for the rest of the cartoon review, but, of course we haven't talked about the ending yet, have we? I'm warning, if you're squeamish, don't watch the rest of this video. Because you'll get an image of Enter that will not be able to escape your brain. I know it hasn't escaped mine, but if it hasn't escaped mine, I'm gonna make damn sure it doesn't escape yours. You're lucky I'm even warning you.
So lately, you may have noticed my video production has been slowing down, and I didn't sound too excited in this video. In the credits of my annoying orange video that I posted back in January, I said that I was suffering from internal cysts. I didn't say the location because it was personal. They're in my epididymis, okay? That's where the cysts are.
Because not everybody's a science geek, I'll explain in layman's terms what that means. His balls! He's talking about his balls! Why would you reveal that information on the internet, man? Like, what is wrong with you? What in your messed up brain gave you the idea that you should talk about your cyst-infected balls on the internet? This video has nearly 200,000 views. Nearly 200,000 people know about your cyst-infected balls. Why would you tell people that in the first place? Like, why would you go out in public and onto the internet and talk about your cyst-infected balls when the video in question isn't even related to that, nor is it medical related? This video did not warrant that information. None of your videos do. Why would you reveal that? If you want to talk about that crap in public, I don't know what's wrong with you, but if you do, go to DeviantArt. I know you have a DeviantArt journal, and you talk about more stupid crap on there. Do it there. Not on YouTube, where everybody's gonna know. That's disgusting. That really is disgusting. I'm appalled by this. And you know, it's funny. You know how Enter sometimes, for cartoons that really don't need it, he'll sometimes put up a banner at the beginning that says viewer discretion is advised, or some stupid crap like that? The one video that actually has disturbing content, and he doesn't put up the warning. Kinda tells a lot about Enter, doesn't it? He doesn't care about grossing people out himself, but when cartoons have minimal gross out, that's cartoony and not really offensive in the slightest, that deserves a warning. Enter logic, ladies and gentlemen. Nitpicky, hypocritical, biased, and you don't know how to make your warnings. I'm KaBlamBandicoot64, and by the way, one more thing. Hey, Skeleton Nation, remember when you said that I was going to review this commentary? Or remember when you said I was going to commentate on this review simply because I did like the Hi Hi Puffy Yumi show? I did like it, and that I didn't like Ender's review simply because I liked the show? That wasn't the case. And if you can't see that by now, well, I'm sorry.